Yep, here it is, the weird beginning. Good morning, Saturday morning. It's Trevor Thompson, self-appointed Looney Tunes Critic, and we're watching The Wild Chase, one of my least favorite cartoons. This was a time I wasn't happy with. This time I like that font, that typeface there. It was 65. That typeface right there for the credits would go on to do greater things a year later over at the Batman show, the Adam West Batman show, and that was the credit font or typeface, whatever. So, what a hacky premise this is, right? Look at this crap. Look at these flat backgrounds. Oh, there's nothing good about this cartoon. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Let's see the bright side. Holly Pratt, who is really the guy, the unsung hero of every good thing that Friz Freleng ever did. Basically made everyone think that Friz could draw. And here's the first of some of the worst cartoons ever, because not too long after this, or maybe during this time, I'm not entirely sure, the Roadrunner cartoons were being done by DePatie Freleng. This whole thing is DePatie Freleng and the beginning of the end, as I call it. TV ruined the theatrical cartoon, in my opinion, and there's TV budget all over this cartoon. Now they've got theatrical quality animation right here, because this is not from this cartoon. They traced this animation. This is from Zoom and Board, a much more competent Chuck Jones cartoon, minus this crummy music. I'm sorry, you guys. It's not a good cartoon. It isn't. And the music here is Bill Lava. And I'm sure I know Bill Lava is a competent musician, but he doesn't have the money to be one. All of this TV low quality stuff is kind of, well, you know what? It's kind of Friz's fault. It's kind of Dave DePatie's fault. Let me. Why listen to me bitch about it? Why don't I give you some evidence of what I'm talking about? Here's Dave DePatie talking about the beginning of the end, basically.
I was running a division of Warner Brothers, which was known as the Commercial and Industrial Film Division. And obviously that's what we made. We made television commercials and industrial films. And we had a series that was known as the Bell Science Series, sponsored by AT&T, and there was animation in that. Friz was assigned to do parts of these shows, the animated parts of them, and we got to know each other and really establish a rapport. One day, I got a call from the boss, Jack Warner, and he said, "David, I don't like the guy that's running the animation division, and I'm going to fire him. Can you take over your responsibilities with the commercial, industrial, and combine it with the animation division?" He says, "I know, you guys are doing so much animation, you must know something about how animation works." "Yeah." I said, "Sure, boss." Well, I decided that I'd like to kind of get off on my own and start my own studio, because Hanna-Barbera had really just got started. Filmation really hadn't started yet.
Boo, Filmation!
And I needed to have a creative director to work with. And I had my choice, because Freleng, Chuck Jones, and Bob McKinson were all getting fired. Okay? I, throughout the years, had the best rapport with Friz. He and I really became quite close friends, aside from the working relationship. So I approached him and I said, "Friz, I'd like to start an animation studio. Would you like to come in as my partner?" And he thought about it for 2 or 3 days, and he says, "I think that's a good idea. Let's do it."
And thus was born the beginning of the end, the DePatie Freleng. And just because you don't have enough money to make the drawings move as much as you can, that doesn't mean everything has to be low rate and stuff. But I like this gag. Look at Sylvester. All right, fine. There's one joke. But there's a lot of animation from other cartoons. For example, I pointed out Zoom and Board. They also had Wild About Hurry in there earlier and Hop Along Casualty, which were, some good cartoons. Beginning of the end kind of thing. I keep saying that, but this is it. I mean, this is it. This is if you don't see how it's kind of the extreme of the worst examples of the constraints, placed on the animators and the writers and everyone making everything, then I don't know that I'm going to be able to show it to you in any other way. I'm a visual learner myself, and just looking at this thing, it's just like, what? Ew. We deserve better, all that stuff. And it is worthy of note, though, that the bad guys win in this cartoon. Sylvester, spoilers if you haven't seen it. Spoilers. Sylvester and Wiley crossed the finish line before them. So there's really no nice way to say it. This cartoon stinks, but at least it's over. And this is the 7 Arts era, and they don't care. So why should I?